Welcome to Travel Agent Achievers, the place to learn how to grow your travel business and have fun with it. Join Rosalind and her guests as they walk you through proven steps to a fulfilling and profitable business.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Travel Agent Achievers podcast. I'm Roz, your host, and today we have a very special guest, Tracy Harris from Mums with Hustle. Now, she is amazing, first and foremost, but her official bio says that she's an energetic founder and head coach at tracyharris.co, which is Australia's leading online community and online education platform for mums in business. She is fiercely dedicated to supporting big-hearted women wanting to design their life first and business second by harnessing the superpower of Instagram as part of a complete digital strategy. One that aligns with who they are at their core and one that sees them creating their own version of success. Now, Tracy is also a successful 7+, now I'm going to add that in, 7+ figure digital entrepreneur. She also helps women grow and scale their own online courses and their memberships, but she is an incredibly strong advocate for increasing the profile of mums in business and helping more women to become 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs themselves whilst honoring family life and values. Tracy, you are one amazing human. Welcome to the Travel Agent Achievers podcast. I am so glad that you are finally here.
Oh, thank you so much, Rosalind. I'm kind of blushing. You know, when someone reads your bio, you get all hot and you're like, oh my gosh, is that me? Yes, it is.
It is you. Absolutely, it is you. I mean, I could have added so many more things in there. So if you want me to go back to your team and just say all of these extra amazing things about you, I'm happy to do that and then get them to not update it, but add in, awesome stuff from other people about you as well. So thank you for being here. For those,
it's a delight.
You guys listening to the podcast can't actually see this, but I am wearing my Tracy hat today because if you follow Tracy on social media and her Instagram handle is Mums with Hustle, you'll see she has these awesome hats. And so I've got one today. I'm not normally a hat person, but I'm wearing it for you, Tracy, because you're super cool and I kind of wanted to channel that today.
Yes. Well, I do love myself a hat. I have, in particular, my Akubra. I love it so much.
I know that Akubra is actually near where I live. So I'm in Port Macquarie and their actual base is in just outside of Kempsey.
Well, I don't know where Kempsey is, but obviously it's close, right?
Yeah, that's the mid-north coast. Port Macquarie. Coffs Harbour.
Next time I am up there, I need to go because I'm a big fan and get another hat.
Get another hat.
I know.
Tracy, thank you, as I said, for being here. Your background, or what I see from you online and with Social Methods Society, is that marketing is your jam, but particularly for mums in business and mums that want to grow their business, not just have a side hustle as such. Can you tell me a little bit about, your journey to your own business, why social media happened? Like, what's your backstory?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I still feel very much like a baby entrepreneur. A little bit clunky, growing my feathers, my eyes are barely opening, still need mummy to feed me. That's what it feels like, a little baby bird. But then I'm like, oh, hang on a second. In the online space, I'm like an old fossilized dinosaur because the online space grows really rapidly, right? It grows so incredibly fast. So I started my digital business 7 years ago. 7 years ago this month.
Yep.
And what thrust me into exploring the possibility of digital entrepreneurship was beginning to feel those feelings of, some people say misalignment, other people say stress and anxiety, or just an inner knowing at work in my day job, which at the time was being an executive level primary teacher, and just feeling like this isn't right. This isn't feeling really good for me anymore. It's not aligning with where I want to be in my life, even financially. most definitely not aligning in terms of the freedom filled life that I was looking to create with my husband, with our children. We had one baby at the time. When the penny kind of dropped, you know, your whole world changes when you become a mother.
Oh, totally.
Oh, and the
Tell me
things.
how hard it was.
Oh, it's so hard. Someone hand me the book. But everything on a cellular level changed in my body. And all of a sudden, my core, deepest values were really illuminated to me. And it was very clear that I was not on path to living and leading with those values and creating the freedom-filled life, the financial abundance, if I stayed on the conventional path and in the career that I was in. Now, it was very hard and confronting to get that feeling. And I believe, and I know it to be true because it's been 7 years now working with other women, business owners, aspiring business owners. They tell me that they reach that same point where they kind of feel like it's now or never. I either continue in my existence in a job that feels unfulfilled, in a job that is not leading to what I truly want for myself and my family, and just deal with that feeling and fact and just keep going, which is what most people do.
Yeah.
Or you can be one of the brave ones that is like, you know what? I only get one life. I'm going to dare to do something different, forge my own path, where you are your only limitation, and where the promise of more abundance than you could ever imagine, more time freedom, more ability to give back to the causes that matter most, to be able to help family, friends, like just do really good work. Like that offer is there for us if we are prepared to stop living a mediocre life.
Yep.
But it feels challenging and it feels scary, and you cannot do it on your own. You do need to find yourself a mentor or a circle of people, you know, and go together, because on our own, it's freaking hard and pretty close to impossible.
Yeah.
But together, you can literally move mountains. So that I had that moment. I had that earth-shattering moment, and I chose to start my own business. And as I did it, I thought, I don't want to do this alone. It was 7 years ago. There was literally nothing in Australia for mums in business, barely anything for women growing digital businesses either. And so I was like, well, I'll just create that thing as I go. I don't fully know what I'm doing yet, but I will share it almost like a diary, like a let's grow this thing together. And that's how it started, by me creating a community called Mums with Hustle. I started a podcast from day one. Episodes still come out 7 years later, every single Monday.
Wow.
Never missed a Monday. Yeah, and we're 7 years in, and of course it's then led to online programs, courses, membership, mastermind. I couldn't imagine it all when I started, but you don't go into it, you grow into it. That's what my mentor, Stu McLaren, tells us. And it's so true. If you're waiting to have all of the pieces of the puzzle figured out before you take a step, it's never going to happen. You grow into it.
And in business, absolutely, I completely agree with you. Now, what I heard you say, that there was nothing like this in Australia. There was no real talk of having this sort of community or online space. I know for me in my travel business, and also in our community with Travel Agent Achievers, there was nothing like it as well. So for me, I went to the US and found my mentors and coaches. Like, what did you do?
I had to go to the US as well. Oh my gosh. And lucky, like yourself, travel is a value for us, you know, amazing. Don't take that away from us. So it was almost like a perk, you know?
Yeah.
It was like okay. So we love experiences. Experiences are our family's love language. So it's not just that we're buying knowledge or we're buying mentorship or we're buying proximity to smart people and high quality relationships. We weren't just getting that. We were also getting the experience of travel.
Yeah.
So yes, it makes the investment cost increase, especially when you're traveling like with children as well. You look at your professional development bill at the end of the year and you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
But it was worth it. And I'm so glad I did, because I'm always trying to learn from the best people.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear
It's
you.
important. Yeah.
It is important. So hearing that travel and experiences are, you said, our love language. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're talking about your family here. This is something that you've all come up with together.
Oh my gosh, yes, legitimate. So even to the point that the other week, my youngest son, he's counting how many of this merit award does he have to get before he gets to the next level of merit award. And he's so cute. He's in kindergarten.
How old is he?
5.
Oh my gosh, my 7-year-old does the same. Yep.
Oh, so he's coming up for like his first
principal award.
It's really big. It's a big one. The parents get invited to the assembly. You go in the newsletter, you know the one. So he's counting down for that. And then I said, you do know that in the Harris family, when you get your first white award at that assembly, we do something to celebrate. And he was like, going to a hotel? Like, he's like ready to pack his bag and go and have a staycation somewhere. Rosalind, I was thinking of like going down to get like waffles and ice cream on the main street or something.
He's gone, no, we're going to the Star or we're going to the Shangri-La.
I know. And then the eldest one, he's 8. I had to really, because I'm pretty damn good at selling and marketing. So I had to sell and market to my own 8-year-old to make him have a birthday party with friends this year. Because what he wanted to do, again, for like the 3rd or 4th year running, is stay at a new hotel in Sydney, do a staycation, like blah, blah. That's his favorite. He doesn't want the friends to come. He wants to eat at a restaurant he's never been to, do something touristy in Sydney. Last time he stayed at the Langham. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm just like, that's what he wants. He's like, I'll have no party and no present, but can we please just stay somewhere? So they're both like that, but so are the parents.
So cool. I'm surprised they haven't turned it though. That's good that they're saying, let's go and have a staycation. They haven't turned it into, can we go to Disneyland or anything like that?
Oh, they don't even really know about Disneyland. I'm trying not to tell them. They just love Luna Park. They're like, oh my gosh.
All right, look out when the world opens up, Tracy.
I know
now. You know that there's going to be some Disney cruises coming to Australia next year. It's all just been announced.
I was following like all of the Disney things and hitting all the likes because that is so cool.
It is very cool. All of these new options and opportunities for families. So very cool what's happening now. So your travel has always been incorporated around your business as well, like with your own professional development, taking the family with you, exploring new countries. I know that you also have a very special country and destination, Mykonos.
Oh.
Yeah,
how do you know about me and Mykonos? Oh no. I'm like, what do you know?
What do you know about Mykonos?
Oh no.
That's one of your favorite places though, and experiences and things that happen there in growing your family, right?
Yeah, let's just say it was so good. Yeah, it was so good that I came back pregnant for the first with our eldest. Mind you, after 2 years of trying unsuccessfully. And having gone on that trip, it was really where I was just like, you know what? That's the end of the road for us. Like, I'm releasing attachment. If we are to be parents, it will likely be through adoption. I'm not going to put my body through IVF or anything like that. Like that wasn't feeling like our next step. And I just released it. And it was after 2 years of seeing a specialist and everything, and even losing a baby in the process. And then we went to Mykonos. I don't know if there's something in that Greek yogurt. We literally came back preggers. Yeah.
What an amazing trip. Like, you're never going to forget that. And I'm never going to let you forget that. Like, wow, what an amazing experience to have. And now the stories that you can pass on to your kids as well from the travel side of things. But now looking at it with your business, it's allowed you, like, by starting your own business, it's allowed you to go and have all these experiences all over the world and travel and build your own knowledge and cultural stuff. So are you intending to do any more travel, or have you traveled since the borders opened?
I have. So I have been to Hamilton Island this year with a group of girls, and that was a really big deal. That was the longest, that was 4 nights. And so I breastfed for 6 years. And then COVID happened. And so there wasn't any opportunity to really travel and do those things. And so at the beginning of this year, when all things started to kind of go back to normal, I was like, let's go, girls. And so, the 4 of us, we went and had our first like mummy friends away from kids, 4-night stay in Hamilton. And I'd never been there before. So that was cool. And then the next month, so that was April. And then in May, I flew to Nashville by myself. By myself. No husband, no kids. And I just want to say, I think it is something every woman needs to do. Go and travel by yourself. When you get married, you almost feel like, and maybe there are going to be people that are like, I don't feel like that, Tracy. That's just you. And that's fine. But I'm speaking to the women that share this in common with me. You know, you feel like you have to always travel with your partner or your spouse. And I kind of felt like that. But having my own business has opened my eyes up to, well, no, actually, sometimes it's better to just go by yourself, like without taking the entire family with me on a business retreat. I was like, no, I'm going to go. And I just had the best time. It was fully all about me.
I saw you teaching everybody else over there, our mutual friend Susie, and then you and a whole lot of other things happening. Like, that was super cool. And I think you are definitely preaching to the choir here with travel advisors all over the world. We love to travel. And I think
solo.
Oh my gosh. But even traveling, as you say, with friends and different groups and experiencing places is just such a beautiful thing. We feel very lucky and privileged to be able to do that.
Yeah, you're the awakened ones, which is great. I'm going to Bali in November.
Okay.
Next year we've got a big South Africa trip coming up as well. And I've been invited to Bali to do some work. So I'll go to Bali again next year. But who knows where else? Like, the beauty of having a digital business is that you can have holidays and trips overseas that are just holidays. And you can also blend it with work too, which allows you to travel more. So, you know, we're open, we're excited to do all the things.
Yeah. So most of the listeners here would be a mobile or a home-based travel advisor. So they can be location independent. They can work from anywhere in the world. I haven't asked you this. I probably should have asked you this before I press record. Do you work with a travel advisor?
I did. Prior to COVID, we did. We had a family travel planner that was working with us. She booked like our UK trip. I think that was like 2019. She booked in 2018, our big USA trip. And that was the best. That was the best.
So why would you and book, through a travel advisor back then when, you could have booked it yourself?
No, I don't like that part. I like going on the holidays. I don't like the research phase. Mm-hmm. And I think some people really enjoy it, and maybe that's like part of the fun, to make a cup of tea, sit down and look at all of the places that you could stay. But like, honestly, as a digital CEO, I'm running my own business. I want to be a super present mom. I want to hang out with my friends. I like my self-care time. I love dating my husband. I don't want to add another thing in. Like, it feels like another project.
Yeah.
Sitting down, like, I just want to go on the holiday. I want to get picked up from the house. I want to go to the airport. I want to do our thing, get on that plane. Like, part of the holiday and the experience is even booking, having someone else do the research and book it in. It's more exciting. I don't have to be in the doing. So I'm just like, outsource that.
Get some help from a professional and an expert that knows what they're doing and create that peace of mind for you.
Yeah.
I think that that's probably the biggest thing that we're seeing now as the world starts to open up from a travel advisor perspective is we do know our stuff and we know how to navigate the murky waters at times with the travel landscape as it is now. So that is wonderful to hear that you use a travel advisor just to take care of everything for you and make sure that you don't have to think about it. It's such a brilliant thing that you can do.
Totally. And I loved just saying, these are my non-negotiables for our experience overseas or for our accommodation. And we're not so fussy on that and blah-de-blah, and just kind of giving the itinerary. And like, we want a couple of date night spots. And so, you know, and that has to be like luxe or bougie or whatever. And, you know, and then they would go and find all the places and it was just give it to me in this nice plan. It was so good.
Just give it to me in this nice plan, which talks, I mean, that brings us into, you know, the client relationships and owning a digital business. You may not necessarily get to see a lot of your clients. I know you've just had your own in-person event, which was awesome to watch you do that and bring everybody together. How good is human connection once again? But being in a digital space, not necessarily seeing people face to face, how have you found building client relationships? Because that's very similar to what we do as work from home travel advisors. So those relationships and keeping that connection and understanding that we're all in this together.
Yeah. So I obviously have my paid online community. So when someone becomes a client or a student in one of my courses, we get to support them in those paid containers. And then there's also the people that are in my community that aren't inside of a paid program. It's really important that I nurture those relationships as well. And so they are largely on Instagram. And so I am very active in the DMs, in responding to people that leave comments on my content. And then also with my email subscribers, I have the most beautiful email community. And so connecting with them regularly every Monday at a minimum, like from the get-go, again, every Monday you will hear from me with an email, and you have been for 7 years if you're in my community at a minimum. Then in addition to that, I also send, you know, other emails that are relevant to people that have opted in via a certain free resource, or they're on a certain development pathway. So I only want to communicate with them with things that are relevant. Like my Inner Circle Mastermind ladies, they get very different content because it just doesn't suit the rest of my email list, so to speak. So nurturing is really important through
consistent nurturing through different channels.
Yes. And I think that's the part that people find really hard. It's like it can fall to the bottom of the to-do list, but it has never slipped. It's at the top of my to-do list, is to stay in connection with my people.
Okay. So when you're staying in connection with people there as well, have you always found you know exactly what to say each week? Or like, are you ever sitting there going, oh my gosh, what am I going to say?
No, I'm never saying that.
Never. She's never lost for words.
I think in the beginning, I just shared what I was experiencing in business.
Yep.
So I remember there was a time where I wrote an email saying, okay, I am doing this business course, or I'm in a business membership, and I just learnt the term of customer avatar.
Yeah.
So I worked on my own customer avatar this week. And I'm wondering if you have a customer avatar. Is this something that you've already done? Maybe you're ahead of me. That's cool. Maybe you're only new to hearing the term now, and so you and I were at similar level. Or maybe I'm introducing you to something that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, this is what an avatar is. This is why we all need one. Go and create one for yourself this week. Yeah, and I'll connect with you next week and share what new learning or what was something really profound for me, and so I always just ask myself, I think my big tip is, what is something that you can share with your ideal client that is going to be helpful to them?
Yeah.
That's just always been my guiding light. And so because I'm operating from that space all week long, Monday to Monday, I am being able to observe questions that people ask in my DMs. So I keep a little list of those things,
Yeah.
In my paid communities as well. Like I'm not stuck for content because I'm in relationship with people.
Gotcha.
So my content is largely in response to what my audience is really asking.
Yeah. And following on from that, when you've been able to, provide help and be there to support your community as well, I know that you have a nice things box. So
yes.
Tell me about your nice things box, because I think that for travel advisors as well, over the last couple of years, it's been like a kick in the guts every day, with clients saying, get me all my money back. I need a refund.
Yeah.
Where's this? The urgency of it has, really dampened the spirit of travel business owners. Yet one thing that I know I have is a whole list of cards and emails and gifts and things that is just beautiful for me to say, I can come back to that because I know that the work that we do is appreciated. So can you tell me a little bit about your nice things box?
Sure. I'll just start by saying, we need you. We need the work that you all do. Honestly, like, you are in the business of creating memories and huge life moments. Like, I have had some of my most profound experiences when I'm traveling, not just coming back pregnant, but huge spiritual downloads and awakenings and things that have led me on different paths. And it's always been activated by travel. And that's what you allow for people, So gosh, your industry was hit hard. And I am just so proud of all of you that are still standing, that resiliency. That's what entrepreneurship is about. And so for me, the nice things box ties me, it gives me a physical example of my why. So when people write to me, and maybe it's a card or a little note, or, sometimes people will send me a free gift because they're a client, they're in my program and they want me to see that they've launched a thing. And so they might send me their product with a beautiful card. And I keep all of those love letters and all of those nice things, and even the emails. And I have a physical box in a cupboard inside of my studio. And for me, it takes my why from being an abstract thing or a heart thing into, like, I'm literally holding it in my hands now. Like, these people are saying, because of you, I know that I can have both. I know that I can be the type of mother I want to be and have a wildly successful business that gives me more freedom. Because if you can't, someone said to me, you can't be what you don't see. So thank you for showing me that it's possible. And, really anchoring down into that. And that box of nice things gets me through challenging times, gets me through setbacks, gets me through scary times. Like when I have to do big live launches and I've got all these butterflies and 4,000 people signed up to a webinar, and I'm like, really? They want to hear me say something? Okay, then. But then it's like, no. This works and this is important. And so reading that and filling up, reconnecting with your people, like it fuels me to keep doing the work that I'm doing. And so I just encourage all of your community to go and do a little search And I bet you there are emails or handwritten notes and things like that. And start collecting them, keep them. They are really important. They connect you back to why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, completely agree. Everybody, start printing out those emails, get things organized.
Yes.
Keep them with you. I completely agree. It's beautiful. And I showed Tracy before a card that I have sitting on my desk that just arrived the other day. And it's so lovely. I will often get embarrassed because I'm like, this is my work. Like I'm here and I love what I do, and people are praising me for it. So I often get a little bit embarrassed. I don't know whether that you'd call that humble or something else, but
yeah, a bit bashful, a bit like, oh, really? Geez, thanks. I'm so glad.
Yeah. Like that.
Me, little old me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So with your business now, what appealed to you about social media to grow your business, and when did you see the need to start Social Method Society? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, so I had the podcast at the beginning, and obviously you need a traffic source because unlike YouTube, podcasts don't drive traffic to your podcast. You have to bring the traffic to your podcast.
Correct.
So I knew that, and I had been studying online business before I started my own business because I was in that season of, oh, I'd like to be able to do that one day, but not quite knowing how. But I was still studying it in the background until, the need gets louder and louder and you just like can't ignore it. So I knew I needed a traffic source to my podcast. So for me, it was jumping onto Instagram, because I had observed there that there were a lot of kind of indie up and coming businesses, I guess hobbyists that were listing their products on Instagram and selling them, or Etsy stores that were on Instagram and branding them. There actually weren't that many digital entrepreneurs in Australia at that time at all. And so, yeah, like there may be a few coaches, things like that, but it was mostly the handmade and e-commerce businesses that were seeing the opportunity with Instagram. And so the thing that I had in common with them is that, well, we were mums and we were growing businesses from home. And I just started again on Instagram sharing what I'm doing to grow my business, and more people's questions were around Instagram. And I was like, really, me? Like, I just kind of got on here. But there were people that were looking at me and going like, gosh, you've been on here for 4 weeks. You have 1,000 followers and like a brand new baby business. And I've been on here for 2 years and I don't have 1,000 followers. So can you teach me what you were doing? And of course, at that time, like most people, I had the imposter syndrome of, I can't really teach you how to do that. I don't have a marketing degree and all of these things.
Yeah.
And then I continued, like I set myself a goal and I wrote myself a strategy to grow by 250 followers every week for the first year. And I did that. I finished the year with 13,000 followers, all organic. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I had my strategy written down. And at about the 6-month mark, I hosted an in-person event in Sydney for 50 women who are in my community. They listen to the podcast. I was like, let's meet each other. Let's all talk about our businesses. Maybe you can make a connection, collaborate, whatever. Let's just come together. And that sold out in like, I don't even know, a few hours. That was the first thing I ever sold.
Wow.
That sold out like just so quickly, just from me putting an Instagram post up and emailing my email list. So 50 ladies, we all gathered, and what they were literally coming up to me, Rosalind, and asking was, so are you going to make us an Instagram course? And so by that point, I was 6 months in and I had about 6,000 followers. And by now the gap between where I was and where they were when they first discovered me, they had been able to see like the true organic growth.
Yeah.
And they were still where they were, but I was now at 6,000 followers. And so they were like, please, like, just teach me what you know. And then that's when I was like, that's all that this is. It's teaching back what you know how to do. And so I did that. I developed my first course, #hustle, launched that multiple times. And then from that, it was very clear that there's obviously more to Instagram than just content and getting it in front of the right people. There's more to it than that. And we need ongoing support. And the platform changes all of the time.
Yes. Yeah.
It changes all of the time. So I was like, hang on a second. I have a niche that gives my audience a need to always have this access to me, to the latest content. Like, it's not a take this course now, you'll never need to learn anything else ever again. No. So then, you know, my ears pricked up when I discovered my mentor, Stu McLaren, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to really consider the membership model, because I'm in a niche where my customers have an ongoing need.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to have some self-paced courses, self-study, they're available to buy, and I'm going to have a membership for the woman that knows she needs ongoing education, but also accountability and also community. And so that's what we provide in the Social Methods Society. So yeah, that is 4 years old now, that membership.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how many women do you have inside there now?
In there at the moment, there's about 850 women, but I don't even know how many women we have educated over the past 4 years. I would have to sit and go and do a little count of that.
I'm sure.
But there are thousands and thousands of women that are confidently growing and scaling their businesses using Instagram and applying my social method to do so. That is the framework that I used and still use, even though my business is now 7+ figures. I still use those same methods.
Yeah.
I still use them with my private clients. I still use them with my mastermind clients. That is the marketing engine behind my digital business. And that's what the social method is.
That is so cool having that. Yeah, I'm just thinking of all the things that coming back to how it's the one thing that just keeps going, the social, the method, the process, the system, and you continuously come back to that and say, no, we're not going to break it. We're not going to change it up here. It's just, this is how it works. But you need the community, you need the accountability. And I think in any form of education these days, and it's one of the things, or one of the reasons why with our Achievers Mastermind as well, it's, you've got to have that accountability, because I don't think that is, it's just not there in so many different communities these days. It's more about, oh, here's the stuff, and hopefully you'll go and learn and implement it. But I know when there's accountability attached, it can change somebody's life.
Yes. And so a large part of it is, are you showing up in the way that the next level version of your business really requires?
Yeah.
That essentially is accountability. So you need to put yourself, say, in your mastermind or inside of some sort of program, or get a mentor or something that gives you that accountability so that you are consistently showing up as that.
Yeah.
And so if we have people listening to this podcast episode and you have got a vision for what you want your business to be calling in for you in the next 12, 24 months, 5 years, whatever it may be, you need to be showing up in the way that your business requires you to show up, because the work is being done now, in the now. What you are going to end up with in 5 years' time or in 24 months' time is being created by what you're doing now, today. So listening to this podcast is one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's like, when we look at Instagram marketing, you need a traffic source. You need a system for acquiring new leads all the time. You need to be nurturing the people that know about you, but now they're at a consideration phase in your buyer cycle.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? We can't just be on Instagram showing up for, a few days and feeling really good. Yeah.
Yay, done. I'm out.
Yes. And then ghost for ages because, life seems really busy, or we've got a lot of client work and now we're inconsistent. And now we feel it's hard to get back into the rhythm of doing our marketing. Like,
yeah,
we need to have a system where we are acquiring new leads all the time. And I like to help give women the Instagram skills and the confidence to show up with consistency.
Yeah. Which brings me to the last thing that I wanted to talk about, which is the new thing with Instagram now. I know it's not so new anymore, and this is Reels. So
Yes.
in the travel space and with travel advisors, I think showing up and being visible on Instagram has in the past been a struggle for a lot of people, but now implementing and bringing out this new thing, Reels, has really scared a lot of people. Travel advisors at the moment,
that makes me sad.
I know, but travel advisors at the moment are so swamped with bookings or so distracted by what they've got to work on or in their business to then say, oh, I just now need to do another thing. So Reels for Business, was this something like your community said, we really need this? Or did you see a need within the market to go, people actually need to learn how to learn Reels and then implement them in a way that's going to work for their business? Because for me, when I saw it all come out, I'm like, this is another platform, like another part of the platform that I need to learn. It's going to take me hours. I was getting tripped up. I thought I had to do things super fancy. I didn't want to dance. I love how you dance though. I felt really awkward and weird. So how did Reels for Business come apart?
Yeah, well, I obviously have my Instagram membership where I teach my social method. And inside of that, there are many, many Reels trainings. But the Reels for Business course is self-paced and it's a singular focus. In the Social Method Society, you're going to learn so many things and you're going to have that monthly support for as long as you're a member. With Reels for Business, it's just one focus. If you just need to learn Reels right now, then that is the thing for you. It's that narrow focus. And I can teach you, oh my gosh, how long does the course go for? 2 hours?
Yeah.
If you were to just watch it in one go. And it's about 20 lessons. They are bite-sized. So you can do the math there. If the course goes for 2 hours and there's 20 lessons, you can imagine how easy and breezy it is to go through, but full of screen flows. It's going to teach you all the technical stuff with Reels. It's going to tell you what to say or give you frameworks so that you can sound like yourself. But using a framework, you're always going to be moving people through the buyer's journey. You're going to be growing your email list consistently. You're going to be talking about your offers consistently, which, by the way, talking about our offers, that's us selling. You're going to be nurturing your audience, growing your audience, because I share those 3 strategic Reels frameworks with the calls to action, with all of the little technical features, like I said, of how to add the text and how to find the music and all of those things that keep people stuck.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was just like, oh gosh, I know that the membership is not for everybody. Some people just want to learn a single focus thing. And for me, I was like, I have to make this easy for them. I need every single woman in business to know how to create Reels. So I'm just going to make her own self-paced course, because maybe she just needs to learn that. Maybe she doesn't need a community. Maybe she's part of an existing community. She still freaking needs to know how to use Reels. So I'm going to bundle something up for her so that she can go and do it in her own time. And then I can sleep at night, because Reels has been around for 2 years, Rosalind.
Oh my gosh. Are you for real?
2 years.
2 years. Yeah. Okay. So as travel advisors, we need to get on board. If you're not already on Reels, you need to get on board.
No, you cannot hang out with me and not do Reels. So
I know. I've got the reel that you and I did together at the Women Online conference.
Yes.
And it was we were having a conversation and then all of a sudden we did the drop. That was when the drop was coming out.
Yes.
So I felt really cool that I was featured in that with you. But that was, for me, that was probably the first time that prior to having a conversation with Tina in Byron Bay only a few weeks before, it was, you need to get on board.
Yeah, you really do now. Like, so my next step to every single person listening to this podcast is you need to decide to get on board today, or are you going to continue to, kind of be like Blockbuster? I use the Netflix and Blockbuster analogy.
Yeah.
Netflix
shares as well. They're all in there now together. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Like, are you going to be that person that's like, no, people are still doing business the old way. They're still going to rent these VHSs and these DVDs and return them through the chute 7 days later, $10 for the new release. Yeah. Or are you going to be current and make the shift and be like Netflix and be like, you know what? Times have changed. We need to change with it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Reels is one of those things. It's an invitation to join the new era of marketing, because 66% of Instagram users prefer to consume and engage with Reels over any other type of content. And that is coming from Instagram themselves. And that is why they keep focusing on more Reels features.
Yeah.
Reels. And let me tell you, the success that my ladies are having in terms of Reels being part of a funnel is huge. Like, one of my ladies in my Inner Circle Mastermind has used a framework that I've put in the Reels course to be capturing leads all the time. She's now pinned that reel to the top of her Instagram feed, because you can pin up to 3 things. And she's welcoming 23 members per month into her membership without launching at the moment. And we're not even done with her funnel yet. And it's all organic. Like, that's just Instagram, Reels. So it's like, we need to get strategic with so that framework is part of the Reels for Business course as well. So
get on board. If you're
you've got the course.
So I have the course.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Reels for Business, because I knew that this was an area in my business that I needed help with, and I needed the step-by-step instructions. It's one of the things that I love about the training, and even going through it now, Tracy, I'm like, oh yeah, because I would overthink it in my head and feel as though I needed to do all these fancy transitions and
and then you do nothing, right? Because you'd be blocked. You'd be like, absolutely. I can't do this. I don't have time for this.
I don't have time for this. This is going to take me hours to do. I need to go and find a location that I can record the same sort of stuff that they're doing, and I need to be this. I would talk myself out of it, and I have. So I've done a few with some of them getting great success. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, but then I lose the momentum. So yes, I have your Reels for Business course. I absolutely love it. There is the step-by-step framework there. So for anybody that is listening to this podcast episode, we have a direct link into the program. So thank you so much, Tracy, for that. We will link to it in the show notes for everybody, but it is the Reels for Business course through you. And I think, thank you for putting that together. Thank you. I was one of the first people. I know I was. As soon as you said, I'm thinking of doing this, does anybody want it?
You were like, I need it.
I need it. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah. It was just a no-brainer.
I am so delighted to be that person to like give you the step-by-step and be there in those video lessons walking you through. So you can go and check it out. It's Tracy, there's no E in Tracy. So TRACY, tracyharris.co/travel agent achievers, because it is a secret squirrel offer.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know whether we would say it or whether just to put it in the show notes. So thank you for saying it, Tracy, because yes, it is very secret. So it's tracyharris.co/travel agent achievers, a very special link for our listeners. And join me inside Reels for
Oh my
Business.
gosh, you can keep each other accountable.
I love that. It's one of the things that I love is our mastermind, the Achievers program for travel agent achievers, is we have that accountability. So bring it on. We're going to do this together. We will have it as part of our Facebook group as well. So I'll make sure that I pin a post there and say, who's doing Reels for Business? Let's do it together and help each other through. So thank you so much for that, Tracy.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy that you will have that social support by, you know, inviting the ladies to do that with you, Rosalind. That's so important.
Absolutely. A little bit scary, but feel the fear and do it anyway. I always believe that if you buy into something, or if you say, I'm going to do it, action has to come with it as well. It's not just consuming another course. It's not just being part of the community. I get it that sometimes we just feel as though we need to tick that box, but this is all about action, because right now there is a perfect opportunity in all that we do, in getting our businesses out there, becoming more visible. And as travel advisors, and I know that you're listening to this, you need to be visible. You need to show off your expertise. You need to talk about what you do. And this is going to be a great start for you if you are not doing Reels at the moment on Instagram. Even if you are, though, make sure you jump in, because this is going to be a great thing for us as well. And then who knows, Social Method Society, here we come.
I know, but I give you action items as well. So as you are going through this with your ladies, Rosalind, like, you can even say, all right, I'm doing this assignment, or I'm doing this action challenge. Like, everyone's got to get it done by the end of this week. You can all share your URLs to the Reels. That's what we do inside of my mastermind as well. It's like, okay, you're going to make the list building reel using this framework, and then you're going to submit it in this Facebook thread, and we're going to watch each other's and all of that. Like, you get so much more momentum. So, that is the best.
It's an inspiration as well. So let's do it. I love it. Thank you, Tracy, for putting that together. As I said, for
you're welcome,
sharing your knowledge, your experience, and everything that you do. I look up to you. I watch what you're doing on social media. I may be hiding in the background, but I just love it. And as I said, I'm wearing the hat for you today. I will be taking it with me to Hawaii tomorrow. So heading over there with Tina for her retreat. So I look forward to seeing you again. And please continue to travel. Thank you for using travel advisors, and know that we've always got your back. We're always all here for you.
Oh, that is so special. Have the most wonderful time. And then, stalk my stories, and you can see me exploring Bali for the first time. I can't wait.
Oh my goodness. I might have to get some sneaky little DMs there. And
I need the good coffee. Send me some coffee places and bougie spots for date nights.
Oh, beautiful.
Places to dance. You know me.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Take care, everybody. Go do those Reels.
Love it. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you. And I look forward to catching up with you soon. Thank you for listening to this episode of Travel Agent Achievers. If you love it, please share it on Instagram or Facebook. Make sure you tag us too, so that we can shout and share with you, as well to your friends and colleagues. We are here to help as many travel professionals as we possibly can. Don't forget to check out the travelagentachievers.com website for loads of resources and tools to help you grow your travel business. We'd love it if you shared a review and you subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss an episode in the future. Now, I truly hope this podcast gives you so much value and ideas to help you build the incredible travel business you deserve to have.